Hey folks, Alan MandicReally here, and it is once again time to work on my ultimate dream Makerspace Studio 3D printing YouTube space. I could probably throw a few more adjectives in there for SEO, but I think that's pretty good. This is the second video in this series where we're revamping this space into an ultimate makerspace, not just the 3D printing side of the studio that I usually use. At the end of the last video, we had moved the major pieces that had to move and built one full workbench into this space. Looking at the diagram of the space, I put some check marks here on the things that have already been achieved. Now it's on to the next stage. The first step in this stage of the project is going through all the bins in the middle of the studio so we can figure out what we need to find a home for in the space, what can go into deep storage, and what can become somebody else's problem. These were all sorted down into categories such as tools, hardware, raw materials, wiring, and parts for projects. Of course, there's also a bunch of junk that needs to either find a new home or get trashed, and if you were to ask my partner, that's probably a solid 50% of the stuff in here, but it's because only I have the vision of what it can become. Maybe. Now with that sorting done, it's time to dive into the toolboxes. We decided on a hierarchy of how we needed to organize things. Tools need to take priority because finding tools when you're in the middle of a project is critical and going to hold you up the most. I need to go through these boxes drawer by drawer and organize these as well, putting specialized automotive tools into deep storage where I don't really need them at this moment, and set these up as more makerspace boxes. From your perspective, I think this is going to go really quickly. From mine, not so much. So I have the Revamp box completely emptied out, and now is the perfect time to clean that box. While it's empty, give it a scrub down. First step of that will be vacuuming it out with the shop vac, which means I need an extension cord, but I'm sick of extension cords in the shop. In comes this thing right here. This is a Legacy Flexzilla reel extension cord. Let's get this thing up. Continuing my day going off the rails from where I intended it to go. That happens around here a lot. Something else just arrived that I need to mount and install on the ceiling. It's this 5,000 watt heater. Currently the studio is heated by that mini split AC heat pump unit. I'm generally a big believer in over-speccing for your needs. That is a 12,000 BTU mini split unit, and when it comes to cooling this space, it does an amazing job. Even in the dead heat of the summer, this studio is very comfortable and dehumidified. But when it comes to heating the space, between this being an uninsulated space and that being an electric heat pump, meaning once the outside ambient temperature gets into the 40s, 30s, or even below, that thing has a really hard time of heating the space efficiently. And yeah, I know, I'm putting a 5,000 watt electric heater on the ceiling. That can't be efficient. But the thing about it is, I've been having to run 2 of these 1,500 watt space heaters in the studio on top of running the heat pump just to keep this space comfortable. I'm generally a person who likes snow, I like colder weather, but the 3D printers and my partner don't.
That's me.
That's you.
It's the chili bean.
Is the chili bean, is definitely chili bean.
That's me all the time.
So I'm including this part in the video?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's quickly get this thing unboxed. While we're unboxing this, I want to take a quick moment to thank my patrons on Patreon. You folks help to make this all possible. When you're a full-time content creator, you have to look for every means possible to support what it is you're doing, and you folks are directly supporting this content and production of it. When I'm working day in, day out by myself, just producing videos, talking to a camera lens with nobody else here, it just feels really good to know that there are folks on the other side of the camera lens who are actually interested in what I'm doing and what we can do together. So thank you to everybody who's currently a patron, and if you can justify it, please consider supporting it. The link in the description down below. Alright, I've already got some MC cable to wire that thing up. I've got a 30 amp 220 breaker somewhere around here. Now I need to go to Lowe's, where I picked up the external thermostat for that thing and the essentials I need to have a licensed electrician wire it in, but there's copyrighted music playing, so let's head back to the studio again. But first, fun fact, it's the second week of November, almost 60 degrees out here and humid. I might end up turning on the AC today just to knock the humidity down in the studio. So let's go install a heater. And now we have a new source of heat in the studio. You might notice that's not the same one that I unboxed. It's actually a 6,000 watt unit that I picked up instead. Not because I wanted the additional power of it, but I wanted to be able to run an external thermostat, and the 5,000 watt unit wasn't going to allow me to do that. This one, I'm still not really running an external thermostat. I just took the thermistor that's usually mounted up at the ceiling with the heater unit, and I extended the wires on it down along the wall. It was an NTC thermostat, exactly like we run in 3D printers. No big deal to extend the wires. It's a hair louder than I would like it to be. Actually, it's running right now. Well, it actually just shut off. It's not as loud as I expected it to be, so I am pretty happy, and it's absolutely putting out more heat than the mini split heat pump was. I am still running the mini split, but only the fan, not the heat pump, not the AC, nothing. Just the fan circulating air around the studio, just to keep the air current moving and not just have a hot spot where the heater is. To continue with random tasks that I keep adding to my plate, I want to move my clamp board now. That is a wall of vice grips. They are difficult to store in a toolbox efficiently. I like this system for organizing them. I can see where they are. I can see what ones are missing, what ones are there. I like this clamp board. It has worked out really well for me, but I don't want it there anymore. Now with the clamp board down, here's the new home for it, this little blank spot on the dividing wall between the two sides of the shop. I am going to have to put it a little higher than I like. Luckily I'm not short, and the clamps that go at the top are the really long ones, so that's not a big deal. The only problem, which isn't really a problem, is that it's wider than I remember it being, so it's going to cover a couple of stickers on my sticker wall. If you happen to see this, I'm sorry Ethan and Sarah, your stickers are getting covered up. Next time I see you, I'll get replacements, I swear. Levels there. Next up, the toolboxes need to be leveled so I can put the workbench top that's going to go on top, both of them, on there. So time to jack these things up and level them out. Okay, now that they're leveled, and I actually clamped the two boxes together to keep them both from moving away from each other, because I'm going to be putting a workbench top on it that goes from the end of one to the end of the other one. It's time to actually clean off the tops so I can do that. I got the top of these now cleared off, and I took these scraps of laser cut wood, or wood I was using for laser cutting, to space up where the new tabletop is going to sit on. These seriously happen to be just the right height to clear over the lip on the edge of a toolbox. Now obviously there is a step between these two boxes. I'm just going to build up to be level with the Matco box so that I can have like a little space underneath the tabletop on top of the Snap-on box. I literally could not have planned this. It's 3.5 inches from the top of the Snap-on box to the top of the Matco box. So 2x4s are going to be able to space this off of here without having to rip them down or anything. I cut a couple of 2x4 spacer blocks and hit them with the router real quick so the front edge of them won't be sharp, and sticking my arm in there or brushing my hand past them won't cut me. Then goes on the plywood top. Yeah, it's plywood, it's nothing special for a workbench top, but it's plenty fine for my needs. I threw a handful of screws into the 2x4s that are underneath there, and yes, a couple into the toolbox just to keep things from shifting around. And I now have a 8-foot workbench that I can collect crap on top of. Hopefully I'll keep it cleaner than that. This is just a quick stage up of what I see this being. It's got my drill bit index drawer system on the one end. There's a piece of angle on the back edge of it to keep things from falling off, and that's also where I'm going to clamp other vice grips that don't fit onto the pegboard. I really find the vice grips just take up way too much drawer space, and they're a waste of space in that regard when you can just clamp them to something. I also threw the Elegoo Neptune 3 on the one end there just to make it feel a little more makery in this space. I don't know if it's actually going to live there, but it just felt like it fit. And at this point, I now have a significantly better heated space. I've got a workbench I can work off of. I've got one toolbox emptied out, organized, my clamp board moved, a extension cord reel so I don't have to be tripping over cords anymore, and an absolute mess on the floor yet that I still need to organize. Oops. Yeah, I didn't really achieve what I set out to at the beginning of this video, but I did get a lot done that needed to get done at some point anyway. It's kind of just the way projects go for me most of the time, is set out to do one thing, achieve something entirely different. I think that's going to wrap it up for this one though, folks. I need to get these tools organized. I might end up just doing that off camera because it's probably going to be kind of boring anyway. Maybe I'll show you the final results when it's done. And I've got an idea for a workbench I'm going to build. You have to have a really good workbench in the middle of the space that can fold out into double its size. We'll be getting to that before too long here. And of course, we'll be back to actually doing more build out projects. I've got 3D printer builds, I've got associated things I'm going to be building. You're gonna have to hit subscribe if you want to see what's coming down the road. All right, folks, that's gonna wrap it up for this one. I hope you found it interesting. If you did, please drop it a like. It really helps out. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of the progress we're making here in the Makerspace, the MandicReally studio? Let me know what you're thinking in the comments down below. Get subscribed to keep up to date with these projects and all the ones coming down the road, and to ensure your 3D prints don't fail. It's not a guarantee, but it can't hurt.